gentlemen. Good afternoon. I'm Steve Ng from HKT. I'm responsible for all business-to-business communication service, IT services for enterprise here in Hong Kong. And we actually serve customers in mainland China as well. So thank you very much for coming over. It's full crowd o'clock in the afternoon. It's not easy for you to keep your stay here because lots of good information actually having here in this expo, and also a long way from downtown here to Hong Kong, Asia World Expo. So today, for this section, I'd like to talk about multi-cloud. I think we have quite lots of speakers talk about all these cloud services, and we understand now, according to some survey, over 93% of enterprise actually using one or more than one cloud service at the moment. So we will be facing the situation that enterprise actually need to manage different cloud services. And this is a very genuine situation. So what are the strategies we want to do? What are we going to execute in order to manage that kind of situation? This is something I want to share with you today. To start with just a little bit background of HKT to those who may not be understanding the Hong Kong telecom situation. Now HKT basically is a telecom operator. We are the incumbent. Around 20 years ago, basically we are the monopoly. Now it's very, very competitive, and we are doing full suite of our telecom services and also IT services. And we're one of the carriers in the world actually doing a triple play. We do mobile, we do broadband, pay TV, and also fixed line services. Now, when we serve enterprise customers, we're actually providing solutions to enterprise customers. So that's why cloud is being one of the very important strategy when we want to solve business problem of our enterprise customer. Now, back to around 3-4 years ago, we talked to a customer, are you ready for cloud? Now, most of the time, we see that, oh, cloud is still up in the air, I don't know what to do. And most of the time, we have the obstacle or the problem or objection is that, well, there will be a security problem with the cloud, and I don't want to do that. Secondly, I don't want to be the guinea pig because I want to see whether or not other competitors in my industry is going to use that or not. And I will tell you that after 3 years, when we talk to the customer, what they are telling us is that what we are asking them is that how many services, how many cloud services you're actually using. Basically, I would say that enterprise actually already get around or already past the situation that they have obstacles using cloud services. It's a matter of how they're going to use it, which team of the organization actually using cloud services, and also to enterprise IT, how they are going to manage different users actually contacting potential cloud service provider directly, and how they're going to manage it. Let's do a little bit more about the situation in Hong Kong. Last year, if you understand from Asian Cloud Association, Hong Kong is actually ranked #1 in terms of cloud readiness in APAC. The year ago is talking about #5. Actually, we go up to #1 in Hong Kong. At the same time, different numbers, couple of numbers about Hong Kong team situation. There are those numbers that we are actually serving enterprise customer by alone. Okay. First of all, 280% growth in terms of number of customers using cloud services from Hong Kong team, HKT, okay? And at the same time, the annual spending, year-on-year growth is talking about 77% increase, meaning that customers are actually using more. They're spending more to using cloud services. And basically, it's using HKT cloud services. Now, if considering there are cloud services that they are not actually using from HKT, they may be 177% more than a year ago, maybe. And at the same time, we see 34%, more than 34% of the customer actually using one or more multiple cloud services. And if they were using HKT services in the past, they're adding more resources. Now, I think that's the trend, meaning that the customer actually wants to use cloud services, and they need to do that because of the agility, because of the time to market being shortened, because of pressure that this is actually giving them. to use cloud service. And we see that cloud actually is an innovation progress and also a technology enabler. Now in the past, we talk about digital transformation. Maybe using cloud, using hybrid cloud is kind of digital transformation. But here I want to share with you a little bit of an application in customer they are actually looking for in Hong Kong. Digital transformation is more from a marketing perspective. Now, we understand the economy here in Hong Kong is really sluggish, right? Many enterprises actually looking for ways to actually understand the customer, acquire new customer more effectively. They are actually looking for ways to understand the customer. Then they will go for finding solution. Now, one of the solutions, very, very simple. They want to understand from social media how their customer wants to have in terms of whether or not the enterprise existing product and services can serve them. What are the feedback from the customer? And equally important, they want to get from social media what are the feedback from their competitors as well. Now, in a nutshell, we have a solution called social listening. Okay, we listen to different websites, Twitter or Facebook, and understand the customers of individual enterprise and the potential customer that are using their competitors' services. Now, this is a very, very simple usage of cloud application because we can use the cloud applications to actually monitor all the information from social media, be it from your own enterprise and your competitors. Now, is it anything to do with privacy? Is it anything to do with your customer data? No. But the problem is that while all these services are pitched, they are not pitching to the IT team. They're actually pitching to the marketing people. And sometimes it's the marketing agency tell the marketing people you need to use that kind of services. Perhaps they're not telling them it's a cloud service, but apparently it is a cloud services. So actually, marketing people is using cloud services, maybe not with the understanding from the IT team. This is one kind of digital transformation. Operation enhancement, to name an example, we see quite a lot of this like in retail shops, right? One of the very simple applications, nothing to do with privacy, nothing to do with customer data, is through signage solution. Can we put the signage solution, the content management engine onto the cloud, and then deliver contents to the display in different retail shop? Yes. Customer is looking for that kind of solution. Now, is it cloud? Cloud. It is cloud solution. And many of those, we are actually talking to the operation team of the retailer. We are not talking to their IT team to do that. And sometimes it's actually the media agency talking to the marketing about using that kind of solution. So operation enhancement is still a possibility of using cloud. A little bit about business collaboration. Anyone of you are not using WhatsApp now? Raise your hand. Nothing. But when we talk about using instant messaging for a business setting, it's quite difficult to convince enterprise IT to use WhatsApp, right? We have nothing to control. Even though a couple of weeks ago, WhatsApp saying that they are using encryption, right? But you still want to have your enterprise manage instant messaging system. Now, there are solutions actually using that kind of technology putting onto the cloud and doing instant messaging. But what we actually see is business collaboration, instant messaging are actually going into workflow of a particular industry. I take another example is retailer. What do retailers use with instant messaging? They use instant messaging to have their, I would say that maybe their boss, a little bit smaller operation, their boss actually talking to the different shop managers. Okay, imagine they have shops all over Hong Kong. They use instant messaging to do communication, to understand how many sales, how much sales they can do. But at the same time, we have a very particular application is to actually take a picture of a particular shop to see whether the merchandise maybe a parallel, maybe an address, is actually properly displayed in a particular shop. And then the boss actually sitting with their smartphone with their app to do approval. And if there is any problem, they just make a voice recording, and then the message will be actually get to the particular shop manager. It's not broadcasting to all the shop managers. Now we see there are instant messaging application, business collaboration application that actually integrate to the workflow of a particular industry. Now, is it difficult to do? No. Is that application going to be useful for other industry? Probably I would say yes. The setting are a little bit different, but the application is the same. Not to mention, in terms of IT infrastructure management, optimization, we see that customer actually pulling out their disaster recovery infrastructure and putting that onto a cloud. Because disaster recovery infrastructure is very expensive. So cloud is like one application that actually helps enterprise IT to run it more effectively. And another more extreme case is actually not building up their data center. Even the private data center, they use cloud to run a virtual DC, what we call VDC, to put all their workload onto their cloud, so that basically they use the cloud to drive IT application. The other security concern, I would say that in this stage, probably for some relatively regulated industries it's difficult to do, but for most of the industry, we see that there are possible means to do your data center virtually, all virtually. And enterprises are actually leveraging cloud services to make their business result, make their business process more effective. The transformation of cloud journey, I think you guys have been looking into that kind of model very often. From traditional IT, physical and virtual server, and then enterprise try to do hybrid project, and then they'll consider to have hybrid cloud. Some of their workload actually goes to the private cloud, or data sensitive, they go to private cloud, and then for some comparatively standardized service, they will use public cloud service. It can be email service, it can be storage service, it can be collaboration service. Now, this one is not uncommon, right? But the situation is that enterprise IT is going to manage different service operators, different cloud service operators. And it can be SaaS, it can be PaaS, it can be IaaS. Most of the time, I say that enterprise IT are having quite lots of demand on managing different SaaS operators. It's not PaaS is comparatively small number, and IaaS is relatively a little bit more, but SaaS is still the majority. But then there are new users, as I said before. Marketing users actually get involved into it. Operations is actually getting involved into it. Yes. While we see multi-cloud environment, there are really big IT challenges. I'll try to talk about those going down trend is less important. I guess security compliance is less important in some industry. In some banking industry, financial industry, I think cloud may not be the right timing at the moment. But for some retailer, for some other trading manufacturer, we see that compliance is not really an issue. And in terms of security, I would say that there are lots of news clips saying that if you put your workload to the cloud, the security risk is actually can be minimized as compared to build your private cloud. The reason why? Because you need to put in lots of security measures. And all of a sudden, if you have a problem, your time to actually enhance your security infrastructure is pretty long. But that's a big problem. Now, if you actually put that problem to their cloud service provider, because they have the scale to do that, most of the time, their reaction to this kind of security measures enhancement can go faster than individual enterprise. Cloud cost, I would say that the cost is driving down. Say, for example, infrastructure as a service. All understand that Amazon, Google, they are actually driving down cost. Because of the computing power, actually getting better and better efficient costs low. So cost is not really a concern. And performance is not really a concern. But for this area, I would like to talk a little bit more. When we talk to the customer, many customers actually ask us, if you have a SaaS service, where do we actually host the cloud infrastructure? Now, first of all, it's the data sovereignty issue. We don't want to have one day the compliance people come in telling the IT where we put the data, so they do not ask that question. And the other is about performance issue. Because most of the cloud services are actually accessed through internet. Now, if the cloud actually hosted in other part of their infrastructure that cannot be controlled by IT, and that cannot be controlled by the cloud service provider, that will be very hassle. Now, I say that this is particularly severe in mainland China situation, where they have more stringent control in data sovereignty and also compliance regulation. People are talking about and asking about whether or not they have an alternative of using their cloud away from mainland China. And there are some use cases like this. But by and large, there are one solution on cloud performance. What are really a big challenge here? The first one is technical expertise. I just listened to Frankie talk about one of the very genuine concern of enterprise IT is that, am I going to be locked in by a particular cloud provider? Right? Are we able to actually migrate one workload from A cloud service provider to B cloud service provider, and someday maybe to C cloud service provider? Internal IT resources, expertise, is it able, or is it applicable, or is it ready to do that kind of assessment? That technical expertise is actually being one of the obstacles using or deploying multi-cloud. Another area is cloud management. How can we have a unified orchestration platform that you can manage cloud using a very simple dashboard, say for example, a dashboard understand the workload situation of different cloud. And this is another area that enterprise actually having hassle or having problem or having challenges to do multi-cloud execution. So our suggestion is what? Our suggestion is enterprise IT maybe, perhaps, one suggestion is to do more on cloud strategy and governance, defining what type of business application can put into cloud. What is the security measure we need to put in place? What are the user group who wants to allow them to use a particular cloud solution or a particular group of cloud services? And what are the implementation strategy? How are we going to engage different cloud service providers helping you to do that? And at the same time, we suggest enterprise IT may consider to engage multi-cloud managed service provider, letting them to help enterprise to do service onboarding, meaning that migrating your cloud or on-premises infrastructure workload onto the cloud, and doing technical support for their internal IT team. And sometimes, very interesting, while we talk to customer wants service provider to help them to do end user support. Because some of their applications are actually SaaS, meaning that it's going to be interfacing the end user. Can managed service provider actually doing end customer support, maybe phone support, maybe messaging support. And service level management of multi-cloud, let's do it by the multi-cloud service provider. Now this is one of the recommendations that enterprise IT may consider to do while they manage multi-cloud situation. And HKT being IT service provider, ICT service provider, connectivity provider, we provide a full suite of cloud services and managed services. And the range of services I'm not going to talk about in detail, but one very important area I want to stress is about cloud connectivity. Maybe you know that basically over 90% of cloud applications are used by mobile applications, according to IDC research. Basically, one of the reasons why customers trying to do cloud the first project is putting their mobile app to the cloud. Why? Because whether you like it or not, mobile app is internet facing. If you have problem in internet security, why not get a cloud service provider to help you to do that? Right? Fair? And also, not mention some of the cloud application, mobile application are very elastic in nature. So it will be easier for a cloud service provider to actually provide agile resource adding on onto their application when it is needed. So one area I want to stress is about activity. The other on mobile, apart from mobile, is about when you connect to cloud. There are maybe Microsoft Azure Cloud. You have AWS, right? Amazon Web Services, and you have different cloud. Can we have guaranteed performance while we use that kind of cloud? Now we have connectivity actually have like private direct connectivity to this cloud. And this is something valuable to our customer. So maybe, I guess, enterprise IT may consider while they use cloud service provider, while they consider connectivity, they have to consider hand in hand. Second last page, second last slide I want to talk about is about HKT Enterprise partnership partner ecosystem. We believe that we need to introduce the best SaaS, software as a service, to our enterprise customer. Because at the end of the day, SaaS is actually something that can help enterprise to resolve their problem instantly. Today, IaaS infrastructure as a service may be a little bit longer, but SaaS is something really usable instantly. So that's why we are having a partner ecosystem that we encourage good technology actually go into the HKT cloud. And then we actually deliver to our customer. Now in the past 3 years, we actually work with quite a number of cloud service and software service providers. And what we do, actually we work together to understand each application is suitable for which industry. And in most cases, we can actually do go-to-market together with our cloud application provider. Because we are a telco, we are just doing quite a lot of ICT service with our small customer, medium-sized customer, or also big customer. We can fairly easily to introduce different cloud services to them. And actually sometimes we can do budding support for our application partner as well. So we promote the use of cloud together with other ecosystem partners, other application partners. So one last slide I want to share is we believe in cloud. We see that cloud is a road that with no turning back. Enterprise IT have to face cloud anyway, but in terms of the pace of cloud adoption, it can be different for different enterprises. And we appreciate the differences, but at the same time, we still need many feedback from enterprise, from every one of you, to let us know what we can do even better tomorrow that we can serve the entire Hong Kong, China enterprise better by using cloud technology. So please go to our booth on E11, and then if you want to talk with us, go to the booth and we have different teammates actually can talk to you about different collaboration or working models where we can work together in the future. And the QR code is actually bring you to a web form that you can leave your content in. Okay, so that's it for my sharing today.
Any questions?
So thank you very much.
Okay.